will we still need tools like a Sonar Cube or whatever tool that does package inspection? Feed that into the loop while you're generating, so that you know that nothing will come out that doesn't comply to the rules that you have there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, then by closing the loop early, you will not generate anything that doesn't comply because you already gave the instructions up front. But that's something I think is really maturing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that that's something that we are all learning by doing. And I think that's something that we've always been doing in software development, but now it's just so much faster. Hey there, welcome to Bad to Talks podcast. I'm Rick.
And I'm Oscar.
And today it's just the two of us.
Yay.
No guests, just a conversation between us about something that has been on our minds a lot lately. How fast the line between AI tool and AI coworker is disappearing. In our IDEs, in our teams, and now in the way entire companies are being built. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's get into it.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah.
Like we're doing multiple recordings a day, right?
Yeah.
And we see themes going on in those. Like it's funny. Like every time we have a recording day, and like somehow you get sucked into the current mania, and somehow that has influence on everything everyone is doing.
And we've been doing this for 5 years now. I'm not sure, but I mean, in the beginning, it was the introduction of new services in cloud, and then we've seen multiple versions of new frameworks like .NET come in, and that was what was on people's minds throughout recording days in general. But now, I mean, I think especially this recording day, we haven't had an episode yet that did not mention AI somewhere.
Yeah, and not like we mentioned AI 2 years ago. We were talking about like and
but not in every episode and not as intense as now.
It feels like a completely different beast with the same label.
Yeah.
And that's actually like the idea of like, okay, let's go through that evolution, right? Like from it auto completed. We had the chat thing that was, there's almost a good English sentence that it gives me back, to the writing assistants, to starting to replace like autocomplete in IDs. Like there was the first Copilot experience when the teams building those things were saying something completely different is coming at some point.
Yeah.
And for me, like it seems like ages ago, there was like, why doesn't get my IntelliSense compiler get the preference? Because the other one is thinking up something that might be good, but it's not the great thing.
And I also remember tabbing through a lot of options before going to the version that I actually wanted to accept.
And like write pseudocode in line to actually get the right completion to something completely different. At least in the developer experience, where you are focusing on speccing and just letting an agent, which popped up somewhere in this whole journey, just have agency and actually change your files. Like in the beginning, we weren't like from the chat letting our files being updated. There was some step, and we made it a couple of years ago, and now that's the default way of working.
And first up, it actually asked, "Are you okay with me editing this file?" Mm-hmm. And I was actually happy that all of those guardrails were in place.
Yeah, you would never let the agent touch the internet.
And now I said, sure. I mean, don't even ask anymore in this session.
Autopilot on.
Not even ask at all anymore. Yeah. No, but the thing is, what you said, I think is correct. I mean, if we talk about GitHub Copilot, it really started like with smart autocomplete. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I think it was a version of Build where there was this story going around that, and I think it was either Hanselman himself or Guthrie said, I typed a comment that said, get phone number here, or implement a property with a phone number. And then the AI actually implemented a property for a phone number and returned by default a private phone number of either of the two. And I think it was Hanselman at that point in time. So that was the first version, and I also remember us writing half or complete prompts in there. No, but I want to use this library and I want to use this and that, and please do it so and so. And then still it would come up with some auto-completed stuff that just wasn't quite there yet. Fast forward to now, sorry. Fast forward to now where I have some side projects, right? And I know Microsoft Stack, I know Angular, a little bit of Vue, and then the basics of normal web development. But I was actually working on a website and I thought this is not something that necessarily needs to be very dynamic. So I used an agent and said, what would be the best approach to make sure that it's fast enough? In the end, it landed on Astro. Now, not to dive into Astro, but the thing is, it was something that I completely did not know. I let the agent rebuild what I had in the new framework. And that way, I got into that new framework like within half a day because I could see my old structure being translated into that new version or new framework. And it clicked for me because it actually literally had the same structure as in the Angular environment that I was building, but now in this new framework. And now most of my websites that I build are in Astro because it made so much sense on the migration that the agent built. And I think that's where it also really shines, right? It can very easily migrate framework versions, but also from one framework to the other. And it can also guide you in which change or which choices are interesting based on what you already know and where you want to go.
Yeah, it looks like it's eating away like in all your processes and tools, like everywhere it will take over some part of it. And like the like for instance, like we had the auto completion and whatever, like it started there and then what you're describing is basically researching a new framework and doing the full translation without you needing the full grip of that new language or whatever.
Yeah. And learning along the way.
And learning along the way. And that is, at some point we're also talking about like, you'll lose the skill and whatever. But like instead of reading up and finding right blog posts of something, getting a skill set and it's like, okay, like we did that for protocols and how to test the library, make a Hello World version. And now basically I can almost inline in my app is like, oh, I need to, I don't know, use this. Like I was building an MCP thing last time. It's like, okay, there's a library. Let's start there, build it up. It's like, but I actually need pretty strict security. I want a concept like this. What is common in that realm? And then it's like it pulled the specs for me and started explaining me what my options were. And I have enough skill to know what I want then. And I learned what the convention there is and what versions are out there and what I don't know, platform is using what. So I could make really great decisions. And by the time I was done with it, within a couple of hours, I had the whole proof of concept actually fleshed out with the security I wanted in there. It's like, this would have taken me so much time.
Yeah.
And basically, it's also in my head right now. So really changed there.
Yeah, and that's I think that's what I meant to say earlier as well.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, you would learn and then implement along the way, and now it is being implemented, and you learn along the way, and the end result is the same, but it takes so much less time to do so.
Yeah,
that it really allows you to focus on the important things. And I think that's something that we've been saying for quite some time now. AI makes that we can focus on the important things because all of the plumbing and all of the stuff that you can just read up on, they can do for you.
Yeah,
it can do for you.
I think the idea of the making so many decisions in a shorter time also keeps you more focused. I tend to now build things where I wouldn't start because I need like 4 hours of focus time to get into it.
Yeah.
I can actually just do enough, like with half an hour between meetings, like, okay, I want this, I'll scope it to this so I can also have the time to check out the output and can walk away. Because I just need top level in mind and I will choose the things that I know is like, okay, the details aren't that important to me for this. And you can get, like, for me, the whole how I divide my time is really different. I needed to just take a full day off, like offline mode to research something. And I was like, okay, I'll just come back for the decisions here.
Yeah. But that's actually something that, and I would really recommend anybody finding their way through AI-assisted engineering to do this.
Yeah, because not everyone is at the same point, right? No. Also trusting this. And like if you would talk to me like 3-4 months ago, I would be at a different moment. So people that are thinking now, yeah, like, oh, it's all BS, like this will never work. It's like, try it. Like,
yeah. And what I wanted to say is I cannot stress enough, if you're hesitant, then just instruct the agent to ask you for permission along the way for each and every step, and for it to explain to you what it's doing and why, and what your choices are.
Yeah, find where it's not good at this moment. Like, fine, you should know those, because like someone else will fall into the trap thinking the agent or whatever will solve that and will not.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, you kind of need to get skilled at this. Like if you want to use it or not, or you're gonna use it or not, you need to know what its good points and bad points are. I guarantee you will make a big step with this. But like from this is all a realm, right? All coding, assisted coding, specs. We went from there into why not do something in the PRs? Because most of my PRs are all like, there's an extra enter here. There's we always do this convention. It's like, well, we build instruction files now, and these things just happen on the way, and you could do a review on it.
But as far as I'm concerned, the pull request should always be around the logic and the way it was implemented, not naming or. No, I mean, if you have an editor config,
it's a nice distraction.
It is,
and we all know that, and even the editor configs, which helped a lot along the way in the prettiers and all those things. But you still like the main discussion in PR, or the main time you spend in discussion going back and forth, like, I don't think this name is clear for this. We might not be able to understand it in 2 months. Like that loop closed a lot. Like, and you can still have that discussion, but it's much better. It's like, why are we putting this logic at this part in the system and not there? Like the more architectural design decisions, are them more important? Which we probably also can just have in real time while we're building. And also, okay, let's try the alternative is a super cheap thing now. It's like, okay, we'll put one next to it. We'll do performance testing, or we can do whatever we want. But like it stretched our entire thing. We recorded an episode with Ronald about testing. That is always was always at the end. And that also changed and compounded and became super effective if you use it right. But outside of our work, what you saw, for instance, the whole Cloud Cowork, for instance, as a tool, right? It's basically Cloud Code, but with an interface made for other types of users. It's the same loop. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's really, it's popping out everywhere. And I think most people that aren't following social media every day and just getting slammed by AI are still at the level of, we have some chat agent there, and I copy paste my work in there, even though I shouldn't.
Yeah, but that's how it works, right? And we have shadow AI now instead of shadow IT.
Yeah, but the things that are moving there are really interesting to me, because you see that people are starting companies. Did you see the paperclip thing? It was a framework. It's like, okay, this is entire organizational structure of a company, and everything is an agent. Completely.
It's not clippy.
No.
Oh.
But
then no, I haven't seen
the
it.
idea of describing every functionality or role, and of course, roles aren't one-on-one people, never were. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 roles, and if this person leaves, 2 roles open up, or part of roles shift.
Especially in startups, right?
Yeah, especially there. But to actually, from the idea is, let's document everything we do. That would have been good, just as sustainability for a company. If someone leaves, to know exactly what to put in the job opening.
Yep.
Would have been nice. We tried to do that, right? But in the end, specifically putting most of the repeated work in documentation, and not in a complex system, but just piece of Markdown somewhere. That's basically an agent.
Yeah.
And you give it skills. And so a lot of work for everyone who's not technical might be able to automate it like that. So you see these concepts popping up, and I think startups are the first one that can take the entire risk of, we don't have a client base yet, so let's try it.
I've seen it happen, yeah.
And you have the opposite, of course, like we only have stuff to lose, so why we cannot just shift here and start learning on the way, because we will trip and that will cost a lot. But it is interesting to see how wide this could be, because a lot of people's work is either placing information from A to B, and the information is just unstructured enough that we don't have a pipeline for it. We need a person for it. In most cases, those types of work or other repeatable work can be automated. And I think for everyone, for every business domain you're specialized in, it's like development work. You will end up with the actual thing that was special.
Yeah.
That you take responsibility for, the decision that you make. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it will go as fast outside the real tech industry.
The thing is, so I was actually thinking about that last week, where the difference between, I'm going to say us, but us in the tech space and people in, let's say, the physical creator world, there's a big disconnect there. But I can also see AI jumping in there. First of all, to take away the hassle of all of the administration that needs to be done around physical creation. But then later on, maybe also with vision, with robots, with added or assisted building or creation, supported by AI agents, may or may not be with physical appearances to also be able to do things. Now, we've presumably all seen the videos of robots trying to run a marathon and then just running headfirst into walls or into bushes or whatever.
Yeah, and those are complicated. Those are trying to reenact human kind of complicated systems. But if you really look at physical processes, like where AI and image recognition and stuff is normal and part of the process for years, it's there. It's like,
I mean, we have robots that have that create a perfect glass of beer each and every time they pour a bottle, right? Because they know exactly what to look. Yeah, but and of course, the human interaction is a big part of a lot of jobs that are out there, which will never go away. I think nobody will like. I think there's not a lot of people who would like a bar or a restaurant that you go into where there's not a human behind the counter or a human helping you in some way, shape, or form. But also there, a lot of the automated work or repeatable work could be automated.
Yeah, like you can indeed be assisted or be replaced, and sometimes it's a choice because of the interaction or the human touch, like whatever. But some process you actually don't want to go through a human to get to what you want, because you know exactly what you want.
Self-checkout at the supermarket.
Checkouts, like
and that's not even AI assist, but that's just, hey, I don't have time right now.
And for some things you really want to just like, please help me because I really don't know what to do here.
I'm not sure if you have that as well. Most of the times I would go to the automated checkout or the self-checkout. Some days I just want to be in line at a cash register and wait for somebody to talk to and say, oh yeah, we're buying this. Have a nice, what's the weather like? Have a nice weekend, whatever. Sometimes you need the interaction and sometimes you choose for it not to be there, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that is important. Like for me, like big purchases or whatever, like I wouldn't want to buy a car online. Like,
but also, isn't that a little bit, that's also a little bit age? Because I happen to have seen an Instagram.
There are all the people that want to go to a bank and ask a person, while I just want to use my app.
I don't do banking physical anymore at all. But, and this is something I do recognize, I saw this Instagram reel of a young person that said, my dad took out the laptop because they were going to plan a holiday, and that's not a phone purchase.
Yeah.
because it's something big. They wanted to have the laptop in front of them instead of doing it on a phone. While who cares, right?
Like I had that choice. Like 10 years ago, I would do that.
Me too.
Now I wouldn't. Like that also shifts, right? Like if you're more used to it, and we just don't know which ones we prefer, one or the other in the end.
Yeah, sometimes it's just screen real estate. I just want something that's big enough for me to show pictures or whatever. But
I want multiple tabs. So being able to see things side by side. Then it's indeed I want more pixels.
But it's not. I don't have that anymore. I mean, I could do something on the phone just as easy as on the laptop right now.
Yeah. Oh, like even coding, like some processes, like no way I could do this on my laptop screen. And now I could technically, I did something last time while traveling. I was I was a passenger. I wasn't driving, so that was a good part.
Luckily.
But I was actually like, okay, I can completely spec this out. I did this a million times before. I was building some GitHub action or whatever. It's like, I want this, this, and this. Here are the examples. I also want it there, but then with this and this, it's like, I can spec this out. So I was just chatting on my phone, building YAML. And normally, like even on a big screen, I had my tabs wrong. But like in this case, it just worked in one go. It was really felt nice, magical. But so the interaction shifts while you get more used to it, or while the tools are getting better. You never know.
And it's also, probably it's the both of them. But now that you mention it, it's something that actually happened to me without actually actively realizing at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to do something in the Git repo, but I knew I wasn't going to be on my laptop for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I started out in a code space, gave Copilot some instructions. I checked on it on my phone while I was waiting for travel. And then at the other end, I just opened up a browser somewhere to make sure that everything worked as I expected.
Yeah.
That's not something we would have done a couple of years ago. That's not something we would have been able to do at all.
We wouldn't have trusted it half a year ago. Like even if it was maybe possible, we were deniers at that point, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, but what is your opinion about like I mentioned the paperclip thing about like, and there was I read a X thread about the company OS thing, where it's like, okay, like document everything in everyone's way of working, and then you can start scoping out work. But what you see if you look at your day-to-day job, what you see being having agents around, like and then fully anthropomorphized with names and whatever. It's like, oh, that's the marketing department. Like, would you see yourself working in that context, or is that futuristic?
Oh, I would definitely see myself working in that context. I mean, I already, again, not knowingly, but I've already, I'm not going to say humanized, but at least maybe personalized, for instance, GitHub Copilot, where I actually hear myself think, I'll just ask them. Instead of thinking it's a system where I'm going to ask a question, I think it's an entity. It sounds really hard, but I'm already there. And sometimes I have a couple of tools running internal for us, where I also think, I'll just ask that part, or I'll just give it to that one, and then I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm even handling some of my inbox is being done by agents, because I know if it has these characteristics, I don't have to look at it per se. I just know what needs to happen. Handle it for me. I don't care. And then the first time I actually asked, prepare to handle it for me, and then ask. Then I said, prepare to handle it for me and give me an overview of what you did. And now it's just, dude, go ahead.
And is that, do you think, like there's a risk that you are trying to find, right? Like that's, okay, I have no idea what this is doing. If it produces output that you're happy with a couple of times, you will just take the guards off. But like someone described it to me like that humans are super bad at assessing risk. If you are driving for a long time and you would take your seatbelt, you won't put your seatbelt on, and you would drive, you will feel completely uncomfortable.
Yes.
Like it's so weird. Or on your motorcycle without a helmet, if you're used to it. Like you will feel so uncomfortable. If you do it for 3 days in a row, you think, why am I even wearing this thing? It's fine.
Yeah.
nothing happened.
Until it happens.
Because nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened while you were wearing a seatbelt all the time. But humans would tend to let go really quickly. Just give up on something. So I'm also really curious in and it's really fun to read some of them, even though it's horrible. It's like, oh, we might have given too much room that it couldn't handle yet. Or
we were discussing this a little bit earlier today, where I'm going to say one of the C-level people of a very big social media company
ran away with the email, and started
deleting stuff and sending out stuff that it shouldn't have. And then even when the person said, hey, stop it, it just continued to do so.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. And some of us need to take those risks to find out, okay, we need to build a safety switch here, or we need to approach this a bit differently. This is the level you can do. It's all about scoping then again, of course. But sometimes I'm also seeing a discussion you should never do this and whatever. But how are you checking the human there doing that now?
Yeah.
And I think the biggest difference is the human will face consequences if it just goes into berserk mode, while the AI is just next session, please.
Yeah.
So that I don't know how that would translate into procedure, but you have some kind of unnamed, I might lose my job, checksum running for a human in the background loop.
No.
An agent doesn't.
Also there, not for all, but okay,
some of them. Last day, bye-bye. But we've seen this week, I don't know if you've seen it, was another DB in production deleted.
No.
And we saw I sent you the video about the cyber insurance against AI screw-ups. It's specifically mentioned as, okay, we're protecting you from this.
And it's smart, right? Just like you said, a lot of people are panicking right now, and a lot of people think, oh, but what if it goes rogue? Well, there's an insurance for that now.
Yeah.
Which is really smart, but also kind of feels like preying on the current state.
Yeah, and you see, what was it? The Amazon had a thing, an outage, where they in the end said, okay, we may have loosened up too much a bit here. And we saw Coinbase, I think it was in the news this week, firing people. Next day, I saw a screenshot of 500 errors on their website. Might be completely unrelated, but it is a trend now to have that discussion. It's is it all that great? And will it get better, or are we there? Because you never know, where we are in the thing. But for me to actually think about a company and reset is what if you would go, we have the discussion in leadership, if you would go AI first in a company, then you should check out the job openings you have on the site right now to grow or to whatever. And your job opening should be already spec'd out, but split that in different tasks and whatever. What is actually still in there? Or can you fully automate that? And should you make the decision into not hire a human? For me, the whole let's fire all devs because we are AI first to get the stock up. That is really obvious what some companies are doing. That's all BS, right?
Yeah. And you still need the people that actually understand what's happening in case that there's issues or.
But actually, to hire people to scale, that's where you can without destroying anything, start investing, or at least end up. Even though, if the end result is nope, we need a human for here, for certain, and you documented a lot of that work, so you can actually much better prepare to scale that. That type of job, right? That role.
Yeah, it's. I'm going to tie this in with a completely unrelated but maybe still interesting topic, and that's the topic of the base income that has been an experiment in several locations in the world. How awesome would it be if we can go to such an extent where we as humans don't necessarily need to have a job in order to have a great life. And then if you want to contribute, sure, get a job, contribute, you'll earn some extra money, but everybody gets that base income. And then based on that, we can get the country running or the globe running.
It's always very interesting, right, to think about UBI like that. Like, will we get to the point that, like, we at least drop the 9 to 5 days a week?
Yeah. People are envisioning that we go through a next golden age because people can start contributing on art again or on well-being of others or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm always also thinking, like, what if I don't know, companies start working less, or what if we get an awesome AI where we can get much more productive? Like, that's a really good natural experiment right now.
Yeah.
Are we actually saying to everyone, everyone's working 2 days a week now from now on, the rest is AI, and we're as fast as ever? No, we cannot, because there's this one company out there that's ramming stuff out 5 days a week.
Yep.
Or 7.
Yeah.
With the same tooling, so they go faster. So I think these tools are making us so efficient. We can do more in less time. Will just make us do more. And I think also a lot of people that like and want to work and love their, I don't know, skill set, that they are lucky enough to make their job like us.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like, of course, like, work a day less might be attractive, but we're the people that are also on a Saturday evening getting triggered and want to code something or want to build something in the end. Like, it's not even about coding anymore. So I think you always, and I think the idea of UBI is universal basic income is a good idea, because there are people out there that aren't too happy about the job that in some cases almost are invented for them to do something.
Yeah.
Like, let them enjoy other things. Let them indeed create art, which other people, if they like that. So it could equalize, but I'm also thinking, like, there's a really big part of people out there that would do the same thing, but just more.
Yeah, but
when they don't have to.
So on the other hand, I think it was you actually who told me that when email was invented, we also upped our productivity greatly, and instead of working less, we started just doing more in the same amount of time. I mean, with AI, I think the same is true. We will be able to do a lot more within the same amount of time. However, especially with complex systems and complex structures and strategies, I do find that it's more mentally tiring to be the driver behind that agent than it is to do it yourself. And I totally love the productivity part of it, but doing that 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, that would be a big shift in mindset and way of working in I think mental strain on humans.
And is that because our deep focus of solving one bug a day was also pretty heavy mental strain.
Fair enough.
And would also be for someone just starting in the field. So I'm also kind of like, I didn't really take a side on the, of course, I'm like, if I'm super productive with models and agent running for me, I'll be completely blank 6 hours in. Like, well, normally that wouldn't be a problem. But is it also that you're not used to it?
Good question.
Because maybe this is a mode that you can train. Like, people were completely, let's roll back 20, 30 years. It's like, I'm all day behind a computer and my wrist started hurting because I'm using a mouse. And like, we grew up in that stuff. Like, it never, like, it takes me 36 hours before I'm tired from a screen. Like, so I don't know. Like, this is more mental, of course, but
yeah, but it could also very well be what you say that it. I mean, and maybe it's also because it's all emerging and it's all new. I still like to have somewhat of a grip of what's happening and an understanding of what's happening. And I'm not really okay with what has happened until I at least mentally get a picture of what has happened.
So basically, because we're micromanaging the agents, we might get tired.
So maybe a couple years from now, a couple months from now, I'm not sure how long that will take. We will be able to let that go a little bit better because we've set up the constraints upfront better for our agents, so that in the end, it's less emotionally straining or mentally straining. Maybe we should make sure that this recording is saved somewhere and then listen back to it like a half a year from now or 2 years from now and have a good laugh, like we used to have with stuff where we said, oh, those SQL statements, I'm not sure if we will ever have a look at those again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm there.
A lot has changed there as well.
No, but yeah. No, I think it's really good. I think it's also super for anyone listening, whatever. Like you're probably at a certain place in this journey as well, and see things around you, and maybe you're even feeling uncomfortable because everyone's talking about this and you didn't jump in yet. Like fine, like everyone had that moment.
Yeah.
Or like you're experiencing all the drawbacks or whatever. Like also react on this episode and like let us know where you are and horror stories, or like even be a guest if you're you have something to tell, because we see with all the guests like it's moving fast, it's changing all the time. I'm now at the moment that's like, okay, I'm surfing this wave, I'm good, but like I might drop off like next week, like it's like, whoa, everything changed again. Like I'm now like I won't be able to get up, but I probably will. Like, but I'm curious, and I'm really curious. Also, speaking with different people, that you see some people telling stories like, "Oh crap! Like we're not doing this. Like I feel behind," and some other people is like, "Really? Are you actually doing that?" And just don't believe the future. Like,
But I mean, but that's the
you had a session, right, with .NET South yesterday.
AI
as well?
assisted engineering.
Yeah,
and that was actually really, it was Dan Patrascu Baba. It was a very interesting session. He had actually this entire circle of 7 different items that actually needs to continuously be gone through to make sure that you improve your AI lifecycle and your AI assisted engineering lifecycle. Because in the end, that's what we need to do. We need to start learning what it does. We need to start learning how we can, on one end, instruct it. On the other end, maybe confine it a little bit and check how it's actually doing. And then based on that, continuously, we need to improve the cycle of developing software using AI-assisted tools.
And if you then see, because you always a lot of different and nice people there, like what were the hallway talks afterwards? Like, did you see a distribution, or was everyone on the same page going there? Because it's also a user group, so
no, the people there were all on the same page.
Yeah,
they were all at different states of thinking about adding AI to their engineer teams. Some of them were actually still thinking about it. Some of them were already implementing. But the thing is, what stood out to me most, we've never had such an engaging session.
Yeah.
So much audience participation as we had yesterday evening.
That's interesting. I think if you did this a year ago, you would have like half the room just being a denier still.
Yeah. And I think now everybody was on board and most of the people were asking questions. Okay, but we're doing this. What do you think about incorporating that in your AI assistant engineering team? And for instance, one of the things that you wrote for today was, do we still need to do PRs when half of the code is being generated for you based on the instructions that you gave?
Yeah, and the context of your rule set and your like what is there to check?
But that was the same question yesterday. Our company, they said our company is really strict on everything needs to go through a pull request. But do we still need them?
Well, the question then is like, okay, like it's a nice way, right? We're really strict on a pull request. Okay. What are the things you're checking? Where's that list? If you don't have that list documented, it's just we just want 2 signatures. That's the only thing.
Then it's not valuable.
It's not a real benefit because like if it's 2 people, it's like just get this thing out the door. I don't care. You
then
still
it's just
don't
procedure.
have a quality gate there.
No, then it's just procedure.
Yeah.
And if you do have the list, you can make an agent that checks the list.
Why would there be code generated that didn't follow that list.
Yeah, exactly that. And that was actually the question that we talked about with Ronald as well a little bit earlier. The question there was, will we still need tools like a Sonar Cube or whatever tool that does package inspection? Feed that into the loop while you're generating so that you know that nothing will come out that doesn't comply to the rules that you have there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, then by closing the loop early, you will not generate anything that doesn't comply because you already gave the instructions up front. But that's something I think is really maturing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that that's something that we are all learning by doing. And I think that's something that we've always been doing in software development, but now it's just so much faster, but still we're learning by doing, and we'll see. We'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, indeed. I think it's a journey. We're all in the same boat, in a different spot maybe. But yeah, give us feedback. Like, where are you? What are your cool stories? Like, really curious.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, shall we make this a show?
Let's wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you for listening to Beta Talks podcast. Beta Talks is made possible by BetaBit Managed Software Development.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.